Hi there. Welcome to Arctic Spas Vancouver Island. I'm John Kierstead, your host of our Learning Hub videos. As you can tell, I have a very difficult job. I have to introduce you to the various spas, and in continuation with that theme, we're going to introduce you to the Cub. So the Cub is a 7 foot by 7 foot spa, nominal measurements. It is by far one of our most popular 7 foot spas. It is a lounge spa. As you can see me here, very comfortably lounging. One of the things I like about it is I'm not really a tall guy. I'm only 5'8", and I can actually sit in this tub and not feel like I'm, too deep, and I can reach the foot jets. I'm very comfortable. It's got like a pocket and some armrests in here, and that keeps my butt in place so that I'm not flying out of the seat. So what I'd like to do is just kind of show you the seats first, then I'll show you the jetting so that you can see how this spa works. So this is the lounge. It's got a little step at the bottom of the lounge. So a lot of people actually step in here or step in on the lounge, or sometimes they step in on one of the seats. I actually like to use this step when I get too hot, particularly at indoor spas. If you're using the spa indoors, I want to be sitting up a little bit higher, or if I get too hot, I can cool off. Little kids like to sit on these seats too, if they sit at all, which isn't very common for them to actually sit. They kind of zoom around in here. Of course, you have the ability to sit in your spa backwards. Like, there is no right or wrong way. I've mentioned it in other videos. As you can see, the next seat beside this, I kind of call this one the hidden lounge, because I'm very much in a loungy type seating. I can actually put my feet up by where the filter bucket is. There's 2 foot jets that even the shortest of people can reach that are in here, that I can sit there. And what I like about it is it creates a face-to-face lounge. So if there's somebody else sitting in the lounge chair, I can sit in this chair and I can talk to them face-to-face. One of the things they did in 2020 was on all of the custom series spas, other than the Klondike, because it has 2 lounges in it, they added these shuttle seats. We used to have 1 shuttle seat in most of them, and the only one that had more than 1 was the Summit or the Tundra. Now there's at least 2 in all of the spas in the custom series Arctic spas. One of them sits up quite a bit higher for people with shorter torsos. So you can see my shoulders are right up out of the water here, which is good. And some people don't like to be fully immersed into the water. Again, I'm kind of tilted back a little. My center of gravity is behind me. The idea is that when I actually turn this on with jetting, you're going to see that it's going to thrust me forward, and this is actually going to allow me to keep in place. There's 2 sets of hand rests or arm rests here. There's an upper and lower. So if you wanted to read, you could. Some people, I don't recommend any sort of digital material in here because you're in water, unless it's waterproof, I suppose. And anyway, the hot tub's really a digital detox zone, right? But some people like to read. I am more of the chillax type guy. A lot of people just like to soak in the spa. This shuttle seat over here, on the other hand, is quite a bit deeper. Now you can see my shoulders are below the water. So if I wanted to massage my neck and stuff, get the heat all the way up here, now I'm really absorbed into the water, fully immersed rather, into the water. It's quite comfortable. Again, these shuttle seats are a lot like a lounge position without the foot part of the lounge. And so I tell people, when you're considering, do I want a lounge, don't I want a lounge? If you've got shuttle seats, you really got flexibility, because it's kind of the best of both worlds, and it doesn't take up as much space. You'll see a lounge kind of takes up 1/3 of the spot. But for a family spa, the Cub's an amazing spa. It's easily fit, 4 to 6 people, depending on the people, depending on how friendly you are. If you're one of those people that don't want your buddy to be right on top of you, it's got these distinct spots where you can sit that I quite like. So let's talk about jetting. This particular Cub is a Legend, which means it has 3 jet pumps. 3 jet pumps means each zone of jets can operate on its own. There's no need to divert to the zone or otherwise. And that's controlled just by using your pump buttons here. So there's my pump 1. There's my pump 2. and there's my pump 3. So each, oh wow, does that ever feel nice? So this one's hitting me, I'm in the deep shuttle seat, and this one's just giving my back a workout. It's amazing. There's actually some jets on the side that are going into my hip area and my lumbar, the low lumbar area. It's really doing a great job on the back. If you ordered this in the SDS version, this would be the SDS seat. So it'd have those big 7-inch jets in here, and there'd be 6 of those on there with one pump dedicated. That's why I'd be getting thump, thump, thump. But I have to tell you, even with these 7 big 5-inch jets and the 2 smaller jets and the other 2 smaller jets, this is still an amazing massage. I think it would outperform anything else that you would see in the market. I'm going to turn this off for a sec. I'm going to move to one of these other zones. So I'll move to the other shuttle seat. I'm going to turn off. Okay, that's this one. I'm going to turn it on. So actually part of this, when I hit pump 1, it's just this seat and this seat here. Now, one of the things I always tell people is that if nobody was sitting in this seat, I can actually turn these jets on and off. They're a little slippery with the escutcheons on the outside there, make them slippery. So usually I use like a jar opener or even like a rubber glove that we'd use for cleaning. It's really great for gripping these to turn them on and off. All right, so I'm going to demonstrate turning the jets on and off that you can see. If you look here, I'm rotating this jet. I'm kind of using the handles in the middle there of the tripod to, the triangular 3-prong. I'm turning it here. I could do it with a small one. These get pretty tight, so this is kind of hard. I'd usually use a jar opener or a rubber glove to turn that. But yeah, just turn this on. I'll see if I can get the jets going here. So that's off, and now you can see I'm turning it off, and now I turn it on, and you can see the flow there. Same here, this one popped on, and then now I'm turning it. So if I only wanted it on a little bit, so I have a tender spot, for instance, I could turn it on a little bit, or I could actually turn it all the way off, all the way on. What's interesting is as I turn this off, and I turn this big one off, the rest of the jets are getting more powerful. I always tell people it's kind of like turning the faucet, the head of your faucet. You can have your water come out full, halfway, a little bit on, all the way off, all the way on. You got all that benefit, right? Both ways that you can do it. Yeah, just like that. You can turn jets on and off, and what happens is that all these jets are running on one pump. If I start turning jets off, then what's going to happen is I'm going to get more and more pressure to the seating. So if you look at the jets, it's this particular tub. All right, this seat here, it's got these 6 that run down each end of my spine, and then 2 big jets for the lower area where, most people that have back pain, that's what they're talking about. It's really painful in the lower back. So when I sit in this seat, it's right along my spine. It really doesn't matter that I'm sitting up out of the seat because this is focusing more on my lower body, giving me a lower body massage. And every jet in the Custom Series spas, every single jet is a pulsating jet, right? So it's pulsing, it's giving me that preferred massage. Lots of jets are kind of like our waterfall jet, that uses for the waterfall. It's just a hole, and that gives you some massage, but it's not the same as that pulsing, really dedicated pulsing motion that you get. I'll move over to the hidden lounge seat or side seat. This is also, I like this seat because I get to be the center of attention. Everybody in the spa is looking at me, so I can really work from this spot. I like to be the center of attention if you haven't noticed, right? But if I'm here, my foot jets are working right now. So I can feel, so when this seat is on, this zone is on, I got foot jets in here, and right now I'm just getting this amazing little, it almost tickles a little because it's right on the feet going like this, but I love it. It's great. On the toes especially, it feels fantastic. And at the same time, my whole back is getting a massage from this seat. The nice thing is that if you get a Signature Series or a Legend Series, it's going to be 40 jets, which is fully jetted. It's just a matter of whether those 40 jets are going to be run with 2 pumps or 3 pumps. If it's with 2 pumps, in order to isolate one seat, there'll be a valve that allows them to isolate one area or another. But effectively, the massage is the same, unless you're split between where you're doing 2 zones at half strength. That's the one drawback. But if you want full power all the time in all seats, then you add more pumps. But a lot of times you don't need to do that. If you are one of those people that, you're not really a jet person, or maybe only one person's a jet person, you could get the Prestige series. The Prestige series comes with 20 jets in the various seats. And then another really common one now that they've added the SDS, if one person's, I want really strong jets, and the other person's like, I don't really care if I have jets, or a little bit of jetting is okay, you can have the SDS seat and the 20 jet Prestige in the same spot. So that would be a 2-pump system as well. So when we say custom, we're not kidding. You can customize your Jetty Active Custom Series Arctic Spa to perfectly match what your massage or therapeutic needs are. So that's this seat and zone. Now I'm going to turn on the lounge here. So one of the things that lounges do so well is, for those of you that like to run, for those of you that work your legs a lot, and maybe you just did a leg workout at the fitness center, this is right along my legs. Notice I'm not flying out. Now that said, girls are a lot more soft and cuddly than boys, and so they have a tendency to float a little bit more. So one of the things in Arctic spas that we like to do is our lounges sit more upright. So even though I'm kind of reclined a little, they want to keep the butt from lifting up out of the spa. And the nice thing is that with this short step that's at the one end, I can actually push myself and stay in place. So I'm not flying out of the seat, so I can actually get my legs massaged and actually feel them thumping on the back. I just had knee surgery not that long ago, and I re-injured my knee being a little too aggressive in my sport. And so having this on the back side of my leg is really nice, but you can also pivot. You can pivot in the seats if I want to get my hips a little more. Again, it's your hot tub. You can sit in it however you want. I'm just loving it. It's now going down the side of my calves and the side of my thigh. It just feels amazing. Go to the other side, same sort of thing. And I'm pushing my leg against that little step that I can actually reach. If there was no step there, I might be floating and like, oh, this isn't really that comfortable as I'm flying around in the seat, right? So we also have the armrest to kind of keep you in the pocket from flying out into the middle of the footwell area. And then if I wanted to just sit in this as a high seat, I'm actually now massaging my butt and the back of my legs again. And this is quite a comfortable seat just like this. I use the lip of the spa. It's got a nice comfortable slope to it. It's nice to sit in here. I'm sitting up a little bit higher. When you get indoors in a spa, it's easy to start sweating, which I am already. This is only at 99 degrees, which is only like barely over body temperature, and you can see I'm already sweating. If I wanted to cool off, there's this higher seat here which allows me to cool off, get up my heart up out of the water. I can cool off in the seat, and it's a really comfortable spot to sit. Again, one of the nice things about these hot tubs is that even though they're in square boxes, it's more of a round configuration in that everybody's facing everybody. Everybody faces inwards. That's the Cub. You can see why it's such a popular model. It's got lots of flexibility in seating. I'm going to turn this jet off so you can hear me a little bit better. Ooh, I turned that one on. There. Okay. There. Wow. If you just want to chill and soak, lots of places to soak in the spa. The one thing I like to show people is how I push off seats to stay planted. When you're getting really big jets pushing you, it's nice to be able to anchor yourself in such a way that you're not flying out of the seats. Just to show you a little bit about the features that are on a custom series, all custom series spas available. And you see these bubbles coming up from this grate here. right? These bubbles, that's part of the peak ozone system. So it's actually the tail end. There's mixing tanks and stuff inside there, and your salesperson can tell you about that. Get you some education. We have some other videos in our Learning Hub that talk about ozone and why you might want to use it in your spa. The spa is filled with saline. You know, we've added some salt here, and we keep it at the same level as if you went and got an IV at the local hospital. It's like 0.8, 0.9% salinity. So when you hear people talking about, oh, this salt water is going to be so corrosive and stuff, this is barely salty. There's like a slight brininess to it. It's not that salty at all. It's very similar to your sweat saltiness or a tear saltiness. Down below here, you can see this kind of gray mushroom cap type thing. That's the Spa Boy electrode, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate it right now. This is what I often tell customers to do is when you're using the spa, if you hold the pump 2 key down, what's going to happen is the display says boo, don't be scared even if it's Halloween, and then it says SBB. SBB says Spa Boy Boost. So it's the same as if you were in the app or on the portal and you hit the boost. What's going to happen is this thing here is going to start bubbling up. Yeah, see there? Those are really, really tiny micro bubbles. We say smoke. It looks like it's smoking. And now what's happening is it's using the electrolysis to actually produce the sanitizer and clean the tub. As you can see, the water is crystal clear. No chemical smell or anything at all. I'm literally bathing in saline, so it's beautiful for your skin. It's a great way to look after your tub. And of course, it uses, in this grate here is where there's a medical grade probe that we use to actually test the water. And it's testing the water every 10 minutes to run Spa Boy. Now it's going to test how much sanitizer's in the water, but it's also testing your pH so that you know when you need to lower your pH, because with a saline system, the electrolysis that happens produces a pH up. So you're literally slowly introducing pH up every time you're introducing sanitizer to the water. So your pH is going to climb over time. Usually you're going to have to make an adjustment to that every 7 to 10 days or so. Some spas will be sooner, some spas will be later. It really depends on the source water that's in there. If the alkaline is really high and your pH is balanced, it really won't change much at all. If your alkaline is a little bit lower and the pH is balanced, then you may find it bounces around a little bit more and you have to adjust it a little more often. And the last feature that I'd like to point out is the underwater lighting and the family lighting package, which is that all of these drink holders and stuff light up. Doesn't show up so much when we have bright lights on above it, but this is a nice light colored spa. So this whole spa right now would look green. It's actually going through a color wheel. Right now we're slowly changing from one color to the next. And again, you can control that from your top side. You can control that from your app or from the portal if you want. I'm not really fussy about it. I like the color wheel, so it will remember whatever your last setting is. So if you love blue and you only want blue, set it for the blue one and it'll be the blue lights for you. And that's the Arctic Spas Cub. It's one of the #1 selling 7-foot custom Arctic Spas. Comes packaged 4 different ways as far as jetting. You might want to think about putting this at your home. If you want to, call up one of your smart friends at any of our showrooms and try this spa for yourself, so you don't just have to take my word for it. Thank you for watching the video and joining us in our Learning Hub. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. I'm John Kierstead from Arctic Spas, Vancouver Island, your smart friend in the hot tub business.